Hello, everyone. Corey here coming in to do the energy update for this week. And of course, I've been recording these in the middle of the week. So this is the 26th of June. We're coming down to the end of June. I'll be getting out the monthly July over the next few days. Very interesting to see what will be happening in July. We're in a whole nother part of my home today. This is my office space, my future office space that we're in now. So I've just been just trying to put some things in here and trying to find and claim a little space in the downstairs part of our home, or in the main floor, I guess, part of our home. So it'll be interesting to see the transition, the changes that'll happen over time as we go along and as we do these recordings. But where are we? So yesterday we had the new moon. Yesterday it was new moon in Cancer. Today the moon is still in Cancer, but the new moon has passed and we have moved on now. We're now moved into like the waxing moon. And so there is a lot of still influence from the new moon energy that is still with us, and it's about our intentions. But we also have that powerful presence with the Jupiter being in Cancer for its period of time now that it's going to be there. And how it is, it's really truly, it's doing a happy dance in there. It doesn't mean everything around us is all happy, but it does mean that it is more at home there, which means wherever you have that Cancer, especially if you have Cancer and Jupiter, wherever Cancer sits in your astrological chart, or if Cancer is your sun, your moon, your rising, you will feel the influence of all of that as well. Of course, I'm not an astrologer, I am a reader. And so I was sitting here and I was asking what really is needed to what is of the highest good today, or what messages can you give for me today that's of the highest good. And I heard that, and I know there was an attempt at this a few days ago, but at like some sort of peace deal or some sort of truce in the ongoing battles. And I heard there's going to be a peace deal. And I don't know when that peace deal will unfold, but I did hear there's going to be some sort of peace deal. And I don't know what that deal means. And I don't know what is happening with that, or what happens prior to that taking place. But it does tell me that there is some divine intervention, or some divine influence, not intervention. There's some divine influence that is playing out in this energy right now, that is bringing about, on a macro, that is bringing about some changes. And it is trying to bring in some sense of peace. The way to peace, if you look at the death card in Tarot, is that the death card in Tarot always appears to be like, oh, that's a bad card, but it's like the events have already transpired, things have already happened. And so peace is what comes in after. And so once everything is ended, it is the collateral damage that we see. And so that's where the death cards, it reveals what has been done. And is this worth continuing? What has this caused? And so in our own lives this week is as if the Tarot's death card has been put in my vision, and I'm seeing the Tarot's death card, and I'm seeing that writing in of the of the of the wise one, I guess, or the hierophant of the priest, of something that is of divine vision. And so for me, I'm seeing the entrance of Archangel Gabriel. And I'm seeing Archangel Gabriel enter into the very scene of this death card. And it's like, it's finally this period or phase of our lives, or this period of time, where something has finally come to an end, a resolve. And this week, that's the kind of energy that we're sitting in. And it's, and it does give us the opportunity to sit in such an abundant time as well. And so I'm really seeing the presence of I'm really seeing the presence of Archangel Gabriel being here for us, being here to inspire us to live in our light, to be our light, to be what we need to be. So there's a real inspiring energy here with us today. And so as I'm picking up this energy, or as this energy is coming in, mm, I hear there's no particular one person, there's no particular one person that can fully take full credit for the peace. That the peace is because of it's because of the divine influence that enters into the hearts, into the minds of those who are at war. And so what I'm getting with that is, wherever it's like you have been at war even within yourself, wherever there has been an ongoing battle in your mind, in your heart, in your choices, in your decisions, that there is these divine influence, that you are being divinely influenced in some of the areas of your life to go, or to take the right, to make the right decision, the right decisions and the right choices. So you may find yourself on a path, on a direction, go in a direction that you have been so, I'm going to say this language, like hell bent to go your way and to do things your way. And what this and ties into the death card is that it's kind of ending that thought of the way you thought you were going to do it, or the or all the things that have been like the obstacles in you trying to get that way, trying to do something your way. And we're being shown a better way. And so there is some new information, some new wisdom, some new guidance, but no change is simply because we decided to change our minds this week. It's no change is because we've decided that, oh, I finally got I finally got the clarity. It is because we have been infused with the presence of the divine that has activated the divine within us all. And with this activation of this divine within us all, some of those choices, some of those decisions that you were about to make have now come to an end, and a new way, a new a new decision, a new direction, and a new path is going to begin to reveal itself to you. And so that may be so much as relationships, jobs, work, personal growth, personal development, um, paths that you may have been taking in, at work, in your studies, whatever it may be. But it just feels like there's a shift, a change. And what's changed is because we are no longer at war with ourselves. And this is on the micro, of course. And so no longer being at war with yourself means that finally I stopped chasing the shadow's desire for accomplishment, for validation, for satisfaction, for happiness, for fulfillment. I'm no longer hungry for something. I am more aware that I already am blessed. I'm already graced with the presence. I'm already validated. I'm already in the power of joy and happiness. I'm already in the power, and all of this already exists. That all of this is already here for me, and that all of this has already been given to me, shown to me, but I've been too busy in the battle that I wasn't able to see what is already there, or what's already been given to me. So I have no desire and no need to chase. And that's what those coming on a deep soul level. Whatever it is you've been chasing, whatever it is that you've been so determined, that you've been at war with, in getting someone to see your way, or to do things your way, or to get your way, or to make things work out, or to control the plan or control the things in our lives, is that all of this is saying you're no longer the puppet master, and that you are not the puppet master of this puppet, of that all the cords and all the strings are being cut and severed. And so those cords of attachments that have had such a hold is releasing. So whatever ideas, old beliefs, any old ideas, old beliefs, old outdated patterns, whatever that is, there's an opportunity in this energy this week that it be severed. And that means sometimes ties are severed. It means thoughts are being severed from the negative thoughts and being brought into the positive thoughts. It means there is a, when all seems like all hope is lost, something else pops in. When we believe there's no way for something to unfold, something reveals itself to us. And so it does feel like this is the death card, this is the end, and this is the re-beginning of moving into the powerful influence of something more that's going to start shifting us into a more innovative way of thinking, which means we're going to have to think on our feet, be more creative with how we accomplish things, really kind of get out of the box, with our ways of thinking, how things have to be done, or believing how things have to be done, releasing those patterns and those ways. And then in comes this sense of love, like this sense of, are you okay type of thing. I'm here to help you rise. And that's what I'm hearing from Archangel Gabriel is, I'm here to help you rise. I'm here to help you rise again. Get back up on your feet. Get up off your knees. Stop begging the universe. Stop begging people to be in your life. Stop begging for things, and stop praying excessively. Pray once and have faith. Pray once and believe that all things will unfold as all things should. And so this is where it's the rise of the light, because it's the diminishing of the shadow. And so the diminution of the shadow, and the shadow has been so activated and so triggered on a world scale, that it has been the active ingredient that's been the guiding light through the past several years on Earth. And now the light is stepping forth, and the light is beginning to lead the way. And this is where the shadow can finally retreat, finally rest, finally sit back. And so there's a surrender, a sit back, a release. It doesn't mean there's still not things to work on. It just means the worst of the feelings, the worst of the change has kind of taken place. So it can be very inspiring. It can be very life-changing times right now. This is an energy of where miracles can really happen. It is a time of where, unexpected joy can appear in your life. It is where you may all of a sudden make the decision to do a total pivot and change directions and projections for your life. You may have been on one path and thinking, this is what I'm going to do, and Adam, you're going to do it. And then something has just awoken within you, and you're like, that's not what I'm doing now. That's not the path I'm going. That's not what I want to do. That's not where I want to be. That's not where I want to go. And so there's a change in that direction that is also happening. And I just feel like it's like where truth kind of keeps revealing itself. We've been on this journey throughout this year, and especially throughout the past few months, of where real light truth is really revealing itself. And so we're going to see more of that truth. We're going to see more of those things unfold. We're going to see more of those good things. And so there is the in the end, there's the good, bad, and the ugly. This is where we see the collateral damage for those obsessions, or for those areas of where we've been so distracted or so caught up that we didn't notice We didn't notice what we were doing. We didn't notice is what they're telling us. You didn't notice what you were doing. You didn't notice what was happening. You didn't notice the other areas of your life that wasn't getting the attention that it needed. You didn't notice what while you were so busy looking at one thing that became a distraction. You just were so caught up in the distractions that you didn't see what else was happening behind the scenes. And when we get so caught up in the distractions, the things that need our attention get neglected. And when they get neglected, they tend to fall short. And so where is those shortcomings? Where are those areas of my life? And so it's where you start to see the shortcomings, you start to see the neglected areas of your life, and you start to really recognize, oh, I have to put more emphasis in these areas. And so creating balance, creating that harmony in our lives is what's going to become even more important. And this week's energy is as if it is the influence that we need to really truly motivate us from the light to really do things from faith and not from fear. And so it is a massive shift. And so there is being able to make a peace deal with yourself means that you're going to make a peace deal with your past, right? Is the past doesn't have this much power over me anymore. And the past shouldn't have this much power over any of us. And we should not be creating our future by our angers of something that is now no longer there. The energy is not there. We just keep recreating. And if we keep recreating, regurgitating all of the old, how do we ever get to the new? And so there is kind of there's revolutions, there's miracles, there's new opportunities and new beautiful things that are unfolding this week in this week's energy. I didn't record for the new moon. It was kind of a part of the last week's message as well. I didn't really feel a call or a need to record for the moon. I felt the call to come in today and record on the backside of the full moon, on the new moon, sorry. So on the other end of the new moon, it is really telling us to really look at the distractions, the collateral damage, to look at where we've been so busy that we have not been able to be at peace or make peace. And are we ready to really make peace, to really feel the presence of the divine and feel the energy of the divine stepping in and coming into our lives and helping us in some way to reach those places in our lives that we really need to go to this week. There was a energy update that I had posted, our card reading that I had posted on, I think it was on my Facebook page. Yeah, I think it was on my Facebook page, and I shared it over. And then I noticed that it was missing and it was gone from one of the areas of where I shared it. And my only thought was, oh, that's interesting. Whereas before I would have had an emotional reaction. Now I have a no emotional reaction. And I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. It's very interesting to witness and bear witness to and watch how energy is behaving and how human nature is and how AI is and how social media is and how all of those places is. But those are not defining factors that define the identity, or it is not the things that can take the peace, right? And so not allowing the little things become big things, not allowing the insecurities of others or anything like that to take away your peace or to rob you of your peace, to really look at things with an open heart and an open mind and a curious sense of knowing. And the more that you become curious is that you stop drinking the Kool-Aid. You stop drinking the Kool-Aids of fear. You stop falling into the entrapment stories. You stop looking at life in a way that is only seen through the lens and the eyes of the ego and not through the eyes and lens of the divine. And you start to see life through the eyes of the divine. And so I did pull the Four of Cups, and I pulled the Four of Cups in reverse. And it's kind of the ending of kind of allowing ourselves to be fed into that, our emotions to be triggered. And we're finally kind of coming to that place of where there is this kind of divine influence that's happening. I was laughing at myself yesterday I just seen the little mouse down in the corner here. And so I'm in the pet store and I'm getting an algae fish. And as I'm getting the algae fish, the um I'm leaning on like a tank and all of a sudden on a cage, and all of a sudden I'm like, shit, something moved. And I looked down and I didn't see them when I walked in. I don't know why, but it was a cage full of little white mice. And I'm like, oh, look at the little mice. In the meantime, I'm trying to get the mice away from my home. Um, and so, but I'm like, oh, look at those little white mice. You're cute, but I'm not taking you home. And then I'm like, see those two mice in that big fight down there? Oh my God, will they eat each other? And the guy's like, probably they could if they're vicious enough. Yeah, they might. And I'm like, then I'm like looking at the mice and they're spinning around the wheel and I see them inside this little cage. And as I'm looking at them, I have this thought and I've had this vision. And I'm like, they're not they're not pets. And I'm like, they're not pets. They're not here for people to take home and love and nurture. Those mice, that's feed. And he goes, yes. I'm like, that's food for the snakes. He said, yes. And I'm like, so that little cute little rodent that's down there is dinner. Like, yes. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess so. The mice have to eat. The snake has to eat as well. He says, but we always try to give the nastier ones first. So at least the quieter ones can have some period of time of grace before they are eaten as well. And I just thought, you know, we so humans have the ability to really eat each other alive, to really truly be our own worst enemy, and to also to create such a divide amongst ourselves, amongst in our own minds, that we're able to become that of um, the monster. We see everything else as a prey and we have to destroy it. And if we could see everything and everyone else not as a prey, and we could see it as an equal, we would lose that sense of primal instinct. I got to get you before you get me. And that is a huge part of the way that our systems have been really designed, is that we have looked at competition and competing in such a way that we drink the Kool-Aid of primal instincts, primal survival instincts, that my only way of survival and my only way to get there is to be the one at the top. But when you get to the top, you realize you're not the only one at the top. There's many at the top. And so this energy is really asking us sometimes, what's that war in our minds and our heart really worth doing? And is it really worth taking? And so it's bringing us back. And so this sense of peace is bringing us back into inner child healing and shadow work. And you're going to see a massive shift and change beginning to happen around us and around our lives coming up in the next few weeks. I would love to continue this conversation. So there might be a part 2 to this video. I'll get this one out and then I'll share again and I'll continue with this video, but I do have to leave right now. But I'm going to come back and I'll post this one, but there will be a part 2. We're going to have a conversation. Much love. Bye-bye.